Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another pre-market live stream today. So, apologize for not being on Friday. Took the day off from trading Friday. Just kind of hung out, did some other things. So, today we're back on Monday morning. Hopefully, we can capitalize on today. So, we'll wait a couple seconds for some people to start getting in here, and then we'll get going. Lost one, good morning. How's it going? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay. So yeah, today going to be a little bit of an interesting day. Yeah, I might follow EXP, might not. We'll see. I haven't even looked at that today, but nonetheless, the market having a pretty big gap down this morning, interestingly. I think it has to do with trade talks, trade wars, things like that. But anyways, so the market's down quite a bit here, still pressing a little bit lower. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if we have more of a pullback day. So far this morning, where we're currently at, the market's held a pretty decent support, hasn't quite yet broken down. We sorted at a double top. I mean, if you look at the top here at 309, then we came down, we bounced back up to 309, then we faded back out. So we have sort of created a short-term double top. So, you know, for now, I'm going to kind of be on the side of watching the markets come down or pull back today. So we'll see. If it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't really matter. Still more or less bullish on the market for now. But in the short term, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, on the side of seeing a pullback occur, right? So this morning, you're probably seeing a lot of stocks gap down. So I'm going to quickly run through just kind of what I've been paying attention to so far this morning, or what I'm keeping an eye on, which is AMD is one of them. So both of these plays that I'm looking at are really, really depends on how the market trades. But if the market does in fact pull back today and give us a red day or more of a red day than we're already seeing, then I might be on the side of watching AMD pull back or kind of fall into a short play. You can see we kind of double topped, we pulled back. Now we created a lower high coming down. And this morning, we're gapping down. So if the gap down in the market is successful and pulls down, then I think we're going to be seeing some of that downward pressure affecting some of these stocks that have been trading at pretty decent highs, one of which would be AMD. I mean, if you look at it, it's ran all the way into a new high, hasn't really had a big corrective move down. So that's what we're going to be watching for the long play right now for a short play is a move down here, kind of breaking down. Okay. Gotcha. 1 second. Fixed. Problem is fixed. Alrighty. Yes, sir. Fixed. It's all good. Everybody on Zoom loved it. All right. Good stuff. So yeah, AMD is going to be one of the main watches for me today. We'll see. A lot of what is playing out depends on how the market trades. So we'll see how that works. All right. Next one on the list is BABA, BABA. All right, next one is BABA. Yeah, so we've been watching BABA for a long play, kind of a breaking out move that never really happened over the past couple weeks. So anyways, you can kind of see like a topping formation. We got up to 189, then we pulled back, then we kind of just trailed off. Now we're gapped down, we're kind of rolling over. So it really does appear like we're seeing some topping formation, right? We've kind of gapped up. There's the left shoulder, the head, right shoulder, down. So I think we're into a head and shoulders formation and topping situation on BABA, where I think today we're going to be seeing a bearish down day on the stock. So you're going to be keeping an eye on it short. Again, if the market rolls over and has a bearish day, then it's definitely going to help the play work out here with BABA to the downside. right? So if you kind of look at it like this, right, just look at these resistance marks here, right, that I have on the chart. You can see that we kind of broke through, up and through, up and through, up and through, and then today we gapped down and we're holding just below those resistance marks. So I think we could be on to a bearish day here with BABA, and that's something that I'm going to be paying attention to pretty close. Do I ever play earnings? Yeah, pretty much all the time, every single year and every single quarter that earnings come out, we do trade earnings. TXMD, sure, I'll take a look at that. TXMD, light volume stock, so really not the best stock for day trading, more of a swing trading kind of stock at this point. I wouldn't do anything with it. It's just in consolidation, which means after consolidation, a move will happen, whether up or down. At this point, I'd probably be on the sell side. If anything, I wouldn't be long bias it. Yeah, I myself wouldn't even trade it, but right now I don't really like it myself. If anything, I'd probably be on the short side, downside playing that. And the reason being, I mean, if you look at it, it's a downtrending stock. So more likely than not, it's going down regardless. But yeah, don't think I'd be trading that long bias. I think we'll kind of see like a slower grinding day. Yeah, today, personally. Thanks. Yeah, just got a haircut. Yeah, so you're right. Play earnings after releases, or while they're being released. So I can trade them. Yeah. So yeah, if you're gonna play earnings, the best approach is to normally wait until after the company reports and then trade the earnings report, or you can go about using the options chain expected move to trade earnings while they're going on after hours, which we've done multiple times. So really pick and choose how you want to do it. If you want to trade a stock before the earnings report, fine by me. You'll most likely lose more often than not doing that. But yeah, depends on however you want to play them. Yep, Yeah, so Singles Day is a big day in which a lot of people do a lot of shopping on Alibaba. Alibaba naturally does really good on days like that, but that's really nothing new. We've known that for many years that's what happens. So I don't really think that we're going to see a dramatic buy up into Alibaba stock just because of the news. So still going to have a bearish outlook on it for today. How many shares do you buy to make profit? 1 share, 100 shares, 200 shares, 1,000 shares, pretty much any share count. Just depends on the stock, really. Twitter, please. So yeah, Twitter was something we were following for a long swing trade, and we took a couple trades on it. They didn't pan out the way we wanted. But ultimately, for now, I'm just on standby with Twitter. It's not in a formation where I want to be long. Yeah, it could possibly turn into a short, but I don't really want to be short bias on it unless it were to get below 28.63. So for me, it's pretty much just on standby. Unless it's breaking down below 28.63, I wouldn't want to be short on it. Unless we're breaking up above 30.36, 30.40, I wouldn't really want to be long on it. So Twitter's standby for me. Is there still risk of a trade war? Yeah, the risk of a trade war has never been higher, personally. Everyone thinks everything's like ho-hum now because of the phase 1 of the trade deal. Like, no, it's just a bunch of bullshit, and there will most likely be no trade agreement ever signed. Maybe you get through a phase 1 that will end up being taken back, but I honestly think the likelihood we even see a trade deal agreement signed is pretty much unlikely. We're more likely to see President Donald Trump get impeached or at least see a new election before a trade deal would ever be signed. There's no point of signing anything on China's behalf. They have no reason to want to sign. There's no reason they should want to sign, right? If I had the upper hand over another country for X amount of years, I would want it to stay the same. We're doing just fine, right? And then you don't have to deal with the president anymore if he gets impeached or if he doesn't get reelected, which then means you're going to have a new president in, which is going to try and squash the trade deal immediately or get it, pretty much taken care of as quick as possible, because the new president, it would be seen as a win. Look, I have ended the long trade war that's been hurting this economy for the past 4 years. I'm amazing. Look at what I have done. Really, you haven't done shit. So that's what the new president would try and do. They try to claim a win on ending the trade war as quickly as possible, which means we'd either go back to the way things were naturally before the trade war even started, or maybe a couple things changed, but at the end of the day, the benefit would still be far more in favor of China than it would be the U.S. So, again, there's no reason that we should ever sign a trade deal, or China should sign a trade deal at any point in the near-term future. Only way it would even make sense, or that I could see China signing anything, is if President Trump gets elected another 4 years. If Trump doesn't get elected another 4 years, the trade deal will end pretty quick. If he gets elected for another 4 years, the trade war will continue for another year, 2 years, maybe even for as long as President Donald Trump's presidency of the following 4 years. Really don't know, but it makes more sense for China not to be signing anything right now. So yes, you can literally predict the future of politics. It's pretty easy. All right. Yeah, NXTC got smoked. That's what I was saying. Would never buy that. TLT. I haven't seen TLT in a long time. I'll take a look. TLT. I'm down at 135. Yeah, I'd probably remain short bias on that for now. I wouldn't be long bias on that for the time being. Yeah, well, you could start maybe considering a long down at like 131 to 129. Arguable that there will be a 200 moving average bounce too, but that would be short term. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really see a long play until it gets down a little bit further on TLT. For now, I'd probably be more bearish on AGRX at this point. I mean, it's already had great long moves. If it's pulling back and in consolidation, it's most likely done moving. I'd probably be on the downside of that stock now. Gold going down has no well, let me rephrase that. Yeah, so a recession doesn't stop because gold prices go lower, right? If that makes sense. Right? Gold prices go up because people think that there's going to be a recession or bad times ahead naturally. Just because prices are going down doesn't mean that a recession won't happen. It can mean in the short term people are less fearful, right? Or gold's just doing what it normally would do, which is go through a correctional period. I mean, gold had a monstrous move to the upside, so a correctional phase that we're seeing right now makes total sense. But I'm still long-term silver, long-term gold for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years even. So. Many years in being comfortable trading. Fitbit, what's my thoughts? I would just leave Fitbit alone. ACB, yeah, I haven't seen ACB in a while. Really crapped out in like the $9, $10 area, unfortunately. ACB has earnings coming up this week or next week at least. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't even be long that stock right now. It's just too ugly to want to be long. It's just sideways consolidating. I'd wait to see what it does after the earnings report. The earnings report gives it a boost and kind of breaks it up and over the consolidation around 4, and then it can successfully hold over $4. Then at that point, I'd maybe consider being long on that stock. I typically trade 1-minute charts when I'm trading. Because of its failed policies. Do I think Trump will lose in 2020 because of his failed policies? When you say failed policies and things like that, I mean, honestly, I think Trump's going to win. I think Trump would blow out any candidate in 2020, if it even gets that far, personally. And when it comes to failed policies, politics is always a two-sided. It's a double-sided coin. So for those thinking the policies have failed, you have the equivalent amount of people, if not more or less, that are saying that his policies have worked. So it doesn't really matter. Politics is just a game of a two-sided coin, a bunch of idiots thinking that they know more than the others, which would be myself included if I ever talk about politics as well. So failed policies, no failed policies. At the end of the day, Trump is probably the best candidate that you have going into 2020 in terms of likelihood of winning right now, most likely. And there's a couple reasons why. It's not just because of Trump and the people that fought. He just makes sense. He creates too much hype, too much media. That's what it is. It's the media. The media wants him to be president. You might not even think it, but the whole world wants him to be president, really. Besides, obviously, we know who Democrats in Congress, they don't, but other than that, the media loves him. The people love talking shit about him or talking great of him. So it really just makes sense for him to be president again because the media loves him. He makes the media money. The media has never been more popular than they've ever been in the entirety of media since he became president. So he just makes sense in terms of an all-around win, really. Media win. I'm telling you, just everything points that direction, whether policies failed or didn't fail. Yep, we're going to have a bad bear market. That's going to happen. Bro, what happened to ATVI? ATVI reported earnings, and they still just really haven't done much. All right, hold on, just going through more questions. Do I have any recommendations for other people on YouTube? I mean, not really. I mean, yeah, I could tell you to point out a few, but it doesn't really matter. Why GE keeps flying? Because of the earnings? Yeah, possibly. I wouldn't say it's flying, but then again, I don't think I've looked at it in a couple days. Oh yeah, it's having a strong move up and over resistance. Got a new resistance top at about 1170. Yeah, you should watch for resistance on GE at about 1175. Did we get a golden cross is the question. Probably. Nope, not yet. I would watch GE for a golden cross, but for now I'd just be... Yeah, no, it's definitely a bullish move. Without a doubt, GE is a heavily bullish move. I'm actually pretty sure I'm long GE. Not in this account, but I do have shares long GE around like 11. And one of my retirement accounts, I think we started buying at like 9.11 or something like that. So I think I still have some shares in that. OSTK. Haven't seen OSTK in a while. Let's take a look. I don't know if it's still down at about $9 or lower. Yeah, it's still about 950. Yeah, I mean, I would just be short bias that. Yeah, I mean, that it's just trailing off so beautiful for a short play is what it looks like. And then they have earnings coming up, but it's hard to borrow on Thinkorswim, so you'd have to trade options on it, which I won't do. But yeah, I'd be short bias that for now. Can I check WBA? Surely. Let's see, WBA. WBA spikes up to 62, basically a double topping sort of move. Big spike this morning, so it has to be news related, and there's no news, so it must be somewhere else. I'm not sure why this is moving. Yeah, you could watch it. I mean, I would just pretty much, I'm not going to trade it. I already know that I won't trade it. For now, I'd be on the short side. Just wait for it to pull back and at least get to at least the 50% retrace mark, which would be... Yeah, I mean, you just want to see what it does down at about prices of 62.03 to 61.33, but I probably wouldn't trade it. Oh yeah, Tesla is something we should talk about. Tesla is kind of crazy. So if you are following it, let's see. So yeah, be long bias on Tesla today. I'm going to be long bias on Tesla without a doubt today. I just want it to kind of stop moving and just stay. But if you guys remember from the other week, I was saying like on this day, I'm like Tesla's probably long. I'd be surprised if it made it to 340, which it made it. But I also said the likelihood it breaks 340 is not going to happen. So we could see a move up to 340 to retest that high. Then it will pull back, consolidate, and then you would look for a breakout move over 340, which you can see we're starting to get here. So today, nonetheless, be long bias on Tesla. Pretty straightforward there. It's in a cup and handle formation that's starting to break out today. So this is a good one to keep on watch for a long play. Dan the man. Well, when precious metals start being mined from other planets, that's when you would worry about it. And as we already know, they're not. I mean, I think they were trying to do something on the moon. I think I read recently, starting to mine on the moon. But until then, there's no worry. Yeah. And even if they did start mining, it depends. I mean, if they did start mining on other planets and then bringing the goods back here, it doesn't necessarily mean that the prices of like precious metals would get smoked. In fact, it might not even change them because, and the reason I say this is because one of the things that we all spend, that many spend a lot of money on, is diamonds. And the clientele or the market is tricked into believing that diamonds are scarce, and that's why the price is what it is, and because they're so hard, and so the scarcity, and they're just it's such a hard material. That's why it's so expensive. But in actuality, diamonds aren't rare at all. We have a pretty big abundance of diamonds, but the abundance is hidden. And it's not flooded into the market to artificially manipulate prices to keep diamond prices high. So we already have a lot of diamonds that could flood the market and make the cost of diamonds dramatically lower, but it's not that way because the market's manipulated and those diamonds are held onto, and it's done in a way that keeps the prices artificially higher in the diamond market. So yeah, maybe the prices were to come lower if you found a bunch of gold in the moon and they brought it here, but it wouldn't be very hard for the people bringing this to here to artificially lock it up and hold it, and only to make prices so it wouldn't surprise me. Anyways, but yeah, if they did find a bunch of precious metal on a different planet and they all brought it here and they didn't do all that crazy shady shit, which the big elites always do, then yeah, the prices of precious metals would obviously go down. I would say, like, if you were to be wanting to be a long-term investor on the marijuana market, like right now would be a great time to buy, right? I mean, if you truly want to be long buys, it'd be a great time to buy because they've all just been smoked. It's what I kind of think. I think that we're getting to the bottoming point of a lot of the marijuana sector and industry, and soon enough we'll start to see it kind of just hang out, stop falling, start to pick up. But yeah, for me, looking at the prices of what many of the stocks and the companies are today that deal with marijuana, it's hard for me to say that in 20 years they're going to be at that price, right? If you look and go like 20 years from now, do I still think ACB or the MJ marijuana sector ETF is going to be this low? Probably not. All right. Yeah, we talked about AMD. Okay. Well, anyways, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it there. About 2 minutes shy of the 9 o'clock mark. But we'll call it there. all in all, I'm going to watch BABA. I'm going to keep it now watching AMD and then also Tesla. So it's really Tesla, BABA, and AMD as my main watches for the day. And again, it kind of really depends on how the market trades today for AMD and BABA, but Tesla is going to be a good one. I truly believe you should watch that one long. It did do the cup and handle, and it is breaking out. How much more upside we could see on Tesla is really the question. I haven't looked at the daily chart in a while. So what are we at here? About 340. I mean, yeah, I could see a move back up into some of these high points around like 380s. And if that does happen, just know that you are starting to get back up into pretty much the all-time resistance. But this is a very strong move. Yeah, I would just be long bias on Tesla for the short time frame right now. Yeah. Anyways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys all tomorrow morning for another trading day. All right, guys, everybody take care. Have a good day.